Hello everybody, how are you? Happy New Year! It's Kylie here, back to talk to you about magical thinking or being a realist. So this is something that a lot of women will do as a protection or defense mechanism. So we will set ourselves up to not get our hopes too high. We will adapt a realistic thinking. So this is our definition of realistic, right? And we're going to say realistic because realistic for one person is going to be completely different to the person next to them. And we actually will it's a defense mechanism because we don't want to get disappointed. Okay, so let's just have a think about that. So I'm realistic. So I'm going to set goals that are realistically achievable. And I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself because I don't want to get all stressed out, and I don't want to set myself up for failure because then I'd feel really bad. So we're going to stay really realistic, and that's going to be the way in which I live my life. The decisions that I make are all going to flow from this defense mechanism of being realistic. So how does that help? How does that hurt you? It sounds like a good idea. We don't want to get disappointed. We don't want to get too stressed. We don't want to be putting too much pressure on ourselves. And yet it can really hold us back because we do not hold ourselves open to that possibility of, one, being disappointed, but second, being delighted or being extra proud of our achievements. Pride is also something that we, as women, tend to steer away from. We don't want to be arrogant, so we kind of associate pride with arrogance. Anyway, so I was thinking this morning as I was getting my kid ready for school, and I had this little dialogue going in my head between being realistic and magical thinking. And magical thinking, it's a sort of a derogatory term or perspective for looking at mindset work and personal development. It's kind of like, and to be honest, it's true. It does exist in a lot of sort of spiritual communities or the law of attraction kind of communities. There can be a real sense of magical thinking. And I remember going to buy some lipstick from Sephora, last year, and I was really just emerging from a really gruesome discovery about my previous relationship. I'd had a truth bomb explode in my life, and I had a lot of realizations about the person that I had been in a relationship with. And I was talking to this beautiful young man in Sephora who was telling me that if you just think happy thoughts, then you'll never attract any bad people into your life. And so if you just think happy thoughts and you're just super positive and that's all that you're putting out into the world, then you'll be safe, you'll be fine, because you'll never attract anyone who is not a good person. And sociopaths feed on that stuff, right? Like narcissists, they're magnetized to that sort of that person who would believe in that. And I remember thinking wow, you are so vulnerable and so naive, because that was how I also used to think. I used to think if you do good things and you put good things out in the world, then you're only going to get good in return. But we also have, there's a lot in our subconscious. There's to get kind of woo-woo, which, I know some people don't like, but there is also karma, and even good people have negative karma. And we have unfinished business with our relationships. And, business is a great classroom to play out a lot of our karmic seeds. And by karma, I mean, the lessons that we're going to get in this lifetime, the way in which we're going to grow, the way that we're going to develop, the way that we navigate life. It's a classroom that basically puts all of our unconscious beliefs, our unconscious limitations. It puts brings to the front all of our biases, and our worthiness issues. It all brings it all to our face, and it's like life tests us by saying, are you going to do anything about it, or are you going to just keep doing the same old thing that you've done the last 100 times that we've presented you with this opportunity to grow? And if we're not doing any kind of mindset work, if we're not doing any kind of personal development, then we are stuck in limited thinking. So the limited thinking, which we think is being realistic, is a prison, because we don't know how to find the key to unlock a different way of thinking, to see the situation in a different way, to navigate our life in a different way, and to choose different choices, right? To choose what is actually in our heart to be chosen, to choose a choice that honors who we are and isn't being dictated by external circumstances, relationships, what's that word, when like the prior, when you go to a course, like it's prior examples of it being happened, like this is what you did last time, so you're going to have to keep doing that. We're held to that. So no, when you're working on yourself and you are learning how you work, it's like we are our own Rubik's Cube. We're trying to work out, does this get me to where I'm going? Is these thoughts, these beliefs, these habits, these habitual responses, are these approaches going to get me to where I want to go? Or am I stuck in a prison of limited thinking, of being realistic, that if I am to be realistic, then I must continue to operate in the way that I've been operating? Or the only way forward is very narrowly defined by what is realistic, right? So then what happens is that we'll encounter someone that we can relate to, and then all of a sudden, bam, their life is like elevating. They are having success. They're finding love. They're, losing weight. They're happy. They're doing things that are like completely out of the box compared to who they used to be. And we think, well, how come they get to be free? How come they get to choose what sets them on fire? How come they get to be happy and I still have to do the drudgery? And then our realistic thinking will kick back in, our limited thinking will kick back in and be like, well, this is what I get to experience. Other people might get to experience love. Other people get to experience good luck. Other people are lucky. That person, that woman over there, my friend, that person, the colleague, they're lucky. They're so lucky that they got that, awesome customer, that they got that big job, that they got that breakthrough product, that they got, they went viral. They're lucky. They're lucky. But that kind of thing doesn't happen to me. Now, the thing is, like, the limited beliefs that we have, our realistic beliefs about life, the not wanting to be disappointed, not wanting to put ourselves out there, not wanting to rock the status quo, not wanting to let down anyone in your life, it is a prison. It will define what you believe you are allowed or not allowed to have, what you are allowed or not allowed to do, what you are allowed and not allowed to expect for yourself. It is a prison. And so the opposite to limited thinking isn't magical thinking. Because magical thinking, like, if I just think happy thoughts, it's not grounded. Like, no one can think happy thoughts all the time. No one can be in a state of like positivity all of the time, because if you were able to do that, like, and actually like, be with the world instead of just, floating off into a little bubble where only positive things are allowed to come with you, you probably wouldn't be incarnated on the planet. You would be floating off in the angelic realms. You'd be like a saint. You wouldn't be running a business, running a household, trying to, be in relationships with people. Try not to kill try not to throttle your children or throttle your family members. You know, we all, no matter, if you're human, you're going to experience like all of the emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, betrayal, regret, remorse, self-hatred. You're going to have all of those feelings and emotions come up, but it's what we do with them that is different. So magical thinking that I have to think positive, happy thoughts all of the time and my life will be perfect is bullshit. And that is not the opposite to limited thinking. The opposite to limited thinking is to be authentic and to love, accept, and acknowledge yourself no matter what. No matter what you're going. No matter if you just screamed at the cat. No matter if you lost the client. No matter if you haven't done your taxes for 2 years and it's just building up and stopping you from sleeping at night. That you're going to love yourself no matter what. Okay? And you're going to be with yourself no matter what. And when you feel those negative emotions, or you hear those negative stories, that inner critic going to town on you because you haven't done your tax for 2 years, then you need to have tools to be with yourself and to get the message and to then address it. Okay? So negative thoughts, negative emotions, painful things, like painful situations, are all there to serve you. They're all there to get your attention to focus on something. Now, we don't want that to be like, you know, the whipping boss on our back, you know, like whipping us on our back. We don't want our inner critic to be driving us. Because we want to address it like we would a cranky child and be like, okay, I heard that you're upset about this. I heard that you're stressed about this. Okay, and then get the message, acknowledgement, and to love ourselves so much through it. Now this is a completely different way to walking into your office and being like, I haven't done my tax, I'm gonna get fined, I'm gonna owe thousands of dollars, oh my God, I'm in trouble. And then feeling sick to your bone, physiologically stressed out, not able to sleep at night, having half a bottle of wine to take the edge off your nervous system, you know. And so like, instead of doing all of those things, screaming at your kids and picking a fight with your partner because you are avoiding doing something that's difficult, you know, what would you rather do? Would you rather walk into the room and be like, all right, biatch, I'm gonna, you know, set the clock, half an hour. I'm gonna go through as much as I can in half an hour and it's gonna be done. I go to bed that night, I'm like, well, I've got half an hour booked in tomorrow to attack the books and I'm gonna do it. And you know, half an hour over 5 days is 2.5 hours. Over 2 weeks is 5 hours. You know, how many hours are you going to need to get through your tax? You might prefer to do a whole afternoon, or you know. But the situation is, one situation you're being avoidant. Oh, I'm just going to have magical thinking and be like, I'm just going to close the door and go and pretend that it doesn't exist because I can't deal with it right now. If I just stick my head in the sand, it's going to be gone, which is crazy magical thinking, right? Or what is actually the opposite to what limited thinking is, to be with what is and to receive it as a message and to act from a place which is powerful and to take control of your life, you know. So limited thinking will tell you you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skill, you don't have the nervous system, you don't have the constitution, you don't have the right weight, height, you know, intelligence, you don't have the right charm. That's all limited thinking. And underneath that is a message that says you don't feel like you're enough. So that is often a message that is going on for women especially, but not just women, a lot of people, all people suffer from that. And so how do we fill that up? How do we respond to that message? And so this is where personal development, investing in yourself, your time, your energy, your love is so important. Because when you do this, when you pay attention to what is going on internally, instead of looking to an external rescuer, savior, distraction, you address it and you take care of yourself, you take care of your own needs, you raise your confidence, you raise your empowerment, you raise your trust, your belief, and you feel like you know that you are enough and you're acting in a way that is enough. And tax is just that. That's how big tax is. If you have a tax debt and you don't have the cash to pay for it, guess what? You enter into a tax payment arrangement. It's not a big deal. It's a bigger deal. What is a bigger deal is the impact it's having on your relationships, on your marriage, on your relationships with your kids. It's having a bigger impact. It's a big deal. The impact it's having on your quality of sleep at night, your nervous system, your comfort eating, your health, your well-being, your focus, your concentration, and your happiness. That's a big deal. Why would we sacrifice all of those things to avoid having to deal with one little thing, which might be your tax? It might be a difficult client. It might be a team member who isn't performing. It might be, it might be not knowing how to address these crazy times that we're living in, not knowing what your next step is. So you don't need to go into magical thinking. You don't need to be held prisoner by realistic thinking, because, if realistic thinking, if you extrapolate it forward, where is it going to take you? If you like where that's going to take you, great. By all means, carry on. But if it's more of the same and you're done with doing the same, then realistic thinking isn't your friend either. And, even in the same family where we've all had the same experience, as your siblings, we've all grown up in the same environment, everyone will have very different ideas about what is realistic and achievable for them. You'll have the smart sibling, you'll have the bad news, the problem child sibling, you'll have the one who's always sick, you'll have the one who's just the pleaser, so there's all, even within the same environment, same parents, you grow up with different ideas about what is realistic for you. Okay, so this is my magical power. This is my magical power. My superpower is in helping people to unravel, unlock, unleash the prison that is built around them with their limited thinking, their realistic thinking, the dysfunctional behavior and habitual responses, to unlock the prison, to open up to a whole world of possibility. And not like, Lamborghinis are going to fall out of the sky. Not magical thinking, not what looks good to other people, but what is actually calling you. What is wanting to be brought into your life? What is wanting to be expressed through you and received by you? That's where I help my clients to really make massive changes to their life and the way that they show up to life and the way that they make the decisions, the choices that they make, the enjoyment that they allow themselves to receive. I've had clients who've lived in beautiful homes and felt guilty and saved the good crockery for very special occasions, save the good things for someone else because they don't feel good about receiving, so that's also a prison. Even though they have the abundance, it's still a prison. So if you are battling that and you're ready to change the tune of the soundtrack of 2021, then send me a message and we'll get on a call and we'll see where you are being limited, where you're being held prisoner, and what is on the other side of that. What is available to you if you were to unlock your own cage. That's it for me. I hope you're all super inspired and uplifted by the energy of the new moon, which is amazing. And yes, we all have beautiful, new, fresh energy for the year to create. You know, don't be realistic about that. Don't be like, oh, it won't last. It'll wear off. Don't be realistic about that. Use this energy to create and commit to change. Use this energy to commit to the dreams, the freshness, the new choices that are presenting themselves to you. And say yes to them. Say yes to new possibilities. And if you'd like some help with that, to stay accountable, to find your way, to give yourself permission to open up the prison, unlock the doors, then please send me a message and we'll have a chat and see if there's anything that I can help you with, but you'll get clarity no matter what. And yeah, I will be championing you anyway. So if any of this has resonated with you, please let me know below. Drop an emoji or say hi. I'd love to hear. I read all of the comments, and wishing you all an amazing 2021. Lots of love. Bye.